this topic. Thank you, Dr. Goswami, for your kind words of introduction. I thanks all participants to be here to listen me. Uh, the topic which I'm talking here is not something librarians have chosen with their willingness. In recent years, maybe last 2 decades, if you see the technological developments, and particularly internet revolution and moving from print to digital, this transition has forced librarians to devise ways and means, I will call it, for survival. Because now the days are gone when for a user it was compulsion to come to the library. Now they have choice. They may come to the library or they may not come to the library. Now, earlier time, users need libraries. Now, for our survival, we need users. That is the paradigm shift in libraries. And I think better we understand, as early we understand this, that can help us in surviving in this profession. Because people have started talking like why we need the libraries, what is the need of the libraries. And in this changing scenario, our role is also changing. Our role is not a custodian of information, it is more of a facilitator. And in current context, I found it very interesting and very fascinating. Like, if you see good old days, what was the scenario? Like, you are purchasing some books or journals, putting in the racks, and rest of the things, what users are doing, you are not doing anything. Except this abstracting or indexing, hardly there was any research-oriented or any intellectual kind of job which librarians were supposed to do. But this technology has given you so many ways and means to play with it and to provide so many things to information to the users. And moreover, now users are more dependent on you. When there was only few journals available for a particular scholar in a field, it was easy for him to select which journal he want to read, which book he want to refer. But now with this information sea, it is impossible for a user to decide to really find out what is relevant for him or her and how to go for the best information available in the field. And that's why I'm saying that now if people are talking about the library's existence, you have a very strong argument that now users need more libraries or more librarians rather than any point of time, because now our roles are changing. But in a library, either an academic institution or a research institution, when we talk about certain kind of because user education is a age-old tradition which is being done in the libraries in the past, but now we have to move little ahead. We have to develop the partnership, and the ultimate use of the resources depend upon how your user understand their needs, how they know what information is relevant to them, how they analyze that information, and apart from analyzing, how they are making use of it. So information literacy is something that you can find various definition of information literacy, but it is something how user understand their needs, and after understanding, he understand how to access that information, and after accessing that information, is he able to analyze that what is best for her research or any kind of academic activity, and in what format he's using, and ultimately how he's utilizing that information in terms of research writings or anything else. So information literacy is something very, very important for all kind of library. And if you see that what are the various components of information literacy, it is there in various publications. I will not go more into that, but definitely it starts from identification to in presenting in form of a research paper on research writings. I will not talk more about these pillars you understand, and you can go through in the library, in website and all those things. Now, I'm talking about the e-research literacy. It is something similar what we are talking about information literacy. Why I have selected a word e-research literacy? Because here I'm specifically focusing on the services which can help in the researchers endeavor to conduct the research. Application of information technology in the research is basically has been referred as e-research. That how now information is available in computational form, and you have the various kind of tools to analyze the data. You have different kind of technologies to do the research. So basically, e-research is the term applied to the use of advanced information and communication technologies to the practice of research. Key areas include collaboration, computational, high performance computing, visualization, research data management, and tools. Because you might be knowing that now we keeps on talking about big data or different kind of data analytics, and so because we are moving in a direction where it more and more data analytics or need for big data is going to be there. So after talking about the e-research, let's talk about the e-research literacy. See, basically, as I mentioned earlier, now so much information is available. So now we need to educate the students or faculty. First, the particular informations, they should understand how to identify their information, and that information should be contextual. And we need to understand that information creation is a process, and every information has certain value. And research as an inquiry, scholarship as a conversation, and searching as a strategic exploration. This kind of process in a literacy, e-research literacy, we need to understand. Only then we can talk about various steps in literacy. Like computer is essential tool, and online searching has become part and parcel of your library use. And then after reading is an art. Reading in a fiction and a research paper is entirely different. We need to educate the researcher that how to read a particular paper and how to analyze it, what source you want to gather from that particular paper. And then after synthesizing, after summarizing, how you are going to use it in your writings. These kind of things are very systematically need to be explained to the users. And there are various stakeholders in that. Library is no more a service providers institution. It is a more of a collaborator. You have to collaborate with the student. You have to collaborate with the faculty. You have to collaborate with the particular researcher. You are no more just a librarian. You are a teacher librarian. I can tell you that as a teacher librarian, your responsibility is more than any teacher of the university, because once the class is over, teacher's role is over. Your role starts once the class is over. You have to take over your role, and then you have to act as a teacher librarian. You get more queries than any faculty member regarding their research work or research writing. You can play a very constructive role in curriculum development. I have experienced it in various academic institutions, but you have to understand it. When we talk about various partnership, our role is there in digitization support, in research support services, in teaching and learning, scholarly communication or e-scholarship. Even we are talking about the various kind of data services, big data, and then number of visual resources. So we have to understand that library is everywhere now. And when you know library is everywhere, when you talk about research literacy, you have to understand that how to measure the needs, that which particular student group or particular faculty or your university, what kind of research literacy is needed. What is the information literacy skill possessed by the researcher and faculty in your or scientist in your university or institution? What is the number of research output of your university? You must familiar with the kind of research output produced by your institution. What is the relationship between information literacy skills and the research output of the researcher and faculty scientists in your university institution? What is the relationship between the ranks and information literacy skill of the researcher and faculty? What is the relationship between the ranks and research output of the research and faculty scientist in your university? You need to understand before serving or before providing any kind of research literacy skills. And when you do that, determine the nature and extent of the information needed, access the needed information effectively and efficiently. That training need to be provided to the student faculty, various ways of evaluation of information, and also they must be educated about the legal and ethical issues. Like plagiarism is a big problem. Students and faculty, even in current time in India, I have conducted over 20 workshops on plagiarism in various universities. I realize that people don't understand what is plagiarism, how to avoid it. Even they are still not familiar with the tools like Mendeley or EndNote to do the citations and all those things, which are very familiar world over. So basically, you have in your e-research literacy skills, you have to understand that what level of information is needed for your researcher and faculty. And then when you want to collaborate, I think there are a number of ways where you can collaborate. And in this collaboration form, even librarianship has been redefined. Now we are talking about embedded librarianship. Like when the librarian faculty or students are partnering with them, the new form of librarianship is emerging. So you can have kind of collaboration in user education program, advocating links to library website within online course, and developing course specific resource web pages. In GNU, we have tried to develop a particular site. We are working on that. Like every faculty is recommending some essential or further readings. If you can create a page where you can link all those essential and further reading through a particular HTML page or on your website. Now see, if there are 60 students in a class, instead of everybody is looking for that information, they can go to that link, just download the particular article, or they can be directly linked to the ebooks, or they can be referred to the catalog. So how much time you can save? So you have to develop those kind of resources. Recognize the librarians and faculty are in the same business. See what faculty is doing, library job is the same. Almost we are providing the similar kind of, the methodology may be different, but objectives are the same. Give clear communication with librarians about what is going on, a course specific about research of use of the library. Give a research assignment that are possible for students to complete within the campus library resources. Inform librarians about new courses or curriculum initiatives so that library collection can support the institution's program. There are a number of ways where librarians and faculty can collaborate, and once they collaborate, results are always encouraging. It is very important for all academic institutions to create research and information support services. Under that support services, like in GNU, we are providing different kind of support. Like we are providing access to language learning tools. We are organizing. We are providing access to plagiarism detection tools. We have a specific service on electronic document of delivery of services on demand. Like for our blind students, they cannot read the print material. So we have a digitization center in our Helen Keller unit, where whenever a student wants a book which is not available in ebook form, our staff is digitizing and making it available to the students. And similarly, when faculty is asking for an article, if it is not available, we are digitizing. So a specific electronic delivery is must for each and library. And then we can play a very important role in by creating a, like we talk about biodata of various faculty or students or researcher. If we convert that into a research profile, citation profile, if we add certain value to it, it can be more impressive and visibility of this research of your university can be enhanced. Training in reference management tools like Mendeley and Note and Jotaro, it is must in every academic and research institution. Or organization of workshops like how to write and how to get it published is basically required in e-research supported. Going beyond, even you can when you're conducting certain kind of e-research literacy for students, you can talk about how to determine the information needed, instruct student about research methods, teaches student about scholarly communication, teaches student about information technology, instruct student broadly about how to evaluate print and electronic information resources, teaches student about economic, political, legal, and cultural context of information, teaches student about how to evaluate information content, teaches student how to synthesize information, teaches critical thinking skills, teaches problem solving skill, teaches student about data manipulation and data management, prepares a student for lifelong learning, because learning should not end with the degrees awarded. There are a number of other areas, like you need to create certain kind of policy, plagiarism policy, like it is very encouraging in JNU when we create certain kind of policy framework, that how to detect, how to avoid the plagiarism. And then now things like electronic thesis and dissertations is must, like you should create platform where online thesis can be submitted, and when they are writing you should provide all kind, like we have ETD lab, we have all kind of language learning tool. So when our researcher is doing research, he knows that library is providing me all the research, all the facilities in my research writings or thesis preparation, starting from the delivery of articles or material, also helping in plagiarism check, also helping in grammarly check, also helping in detection of plagiarism, and how to avoid that. So all these things are very important and even develop partnership with the student. In JNU, we have formed a forum called JNU Forum for Mutual Learning, where students and libraries are in partnering for organization of different kind of seminars, activities, like these 29 lectures delivered by the students and chaired by the students. And many times VC is attending those lectures, faculty is attending those lectures, and what they are talking, either they are talking about their research, ongoing research, or they are talking about, and that way we are developing them as a good researcher as well as a good presenter. Their hesitation is removed because first they are presenting in form of their peers. So these kind of things are very important in the, like this author workshop. Now see the students are sitting on the floor to attend, editor is conducting a workshop how to write and how to get it published in academic journal. So that is so much interest about these kind of things. This is the new thing we have just started in collaboration with our faculty member. She is the professor in Oxford University, Dr. Yasmin Khan. Her recent book was recommended as a reading, essential reading in the course. The faculty who was reading, during the teaching, he found there are so many questions which he is not able to answer, because then he requested me that, Dr. God, there are so many questions. We were discussing something. Then we explore an idea. Let's connect author with the students and have a kind of virtual discussion. So this is a library committee room where through Skype we connected the author from Oxford University, and all the students are sitting. It's a 2-hour session where students put a lot of questions to the Yasmin Khan, the author, and they got the answer to the queries which teacher was not able to answer it. And similarly, then we started this as a regular practice in our library. You will find that then the next we asked some, Mr. Karnad was contacted, who was a great grandson of G. Parthasarthi. He was contacted, his book was, so we given the program, interrogate the author program. So these kind of things need to be started by the libraries. For faculty, we are organizing book launch, we are organizing good discussion. Every year in World Book Fair, we are displaying all JNU faculty publication, whatever latest publication. We are not selling it, but library is developing a kind of partnership with the faculty. Library showing their concern to enhance the visibility of their research output. So they are feeling so happy that now library understand their needs and they are doing this kind of thing. Like we organize book exhibition, not for just like in Sahitya Akademi, number of such. This is one example where Sahitya Akademi is giving the discount and sale. This is many universities are doing. But another important thing, last thing which I want to advocate is that library can play a very important role in management of research output of the university. Now we are talking about the national ranking. When you are talking about the national ranking, data is very much required. And here comes the role how to manage the data. Many times universities are doing very good, but they are not able to provide the data to the ranking agency. That's why that is one of the reasons that Indian universities are not very well ranked in international ranking, because we are very poor in managing the data. And library can play a very important role. And library can talk about not just Scopus and Web of Science. We have to go ahead leaving this Scopus and Web of Science because they are biased. There are certain limitation of these databases. Now there are so many alternative methods of managing the impact of the research output of a particular faculty or now we call it alternative matrix. So we should think about it. The library should understand first what are the different kind of alternative matrix which can help in the assessment of data, and we need to first understand what are the tools, and then we need to integrate those tools. I think I strongly recommend for all university libraries to have a separate section on this kind of activities where libraries should focus, because we are trained in that. Librarians are, by virtue of their training, are the most suitable person in any academic institution to develop this kind of profile, and we have never entered in this particular profile. We have not entered in this profile. We should do it. Like alternative to Altmetrics, what kind of information they can gather? They can gather, because now in it is not necessary that article cited in Scopus or Web of Science is the only referred article. There are tweets, there are blogs, there is Facebook posts, presentation, new articles, ResearchGate, Mendeley. There's so many sources where the articles are referred and read. Why don't you collect the information from all those sources? So alternative matrix can help you in collecting this information. There are a number of tools which I have given you in slide. Dr. Goswami is looking towards me. I have to finish it very, very quickly. So these alternative tools are the new things you should learn about it. First you should learn about, then you teach this to your faculty and student. Tell them that how effectively these tools can help in showing impact. This can help in getting a recognition for a researcher. Their reputation can be enhanced. Even that can help in job opportunities also. So we need to understand it. I strongly recommend visibility is must for libraries. Libraries should be the most happening place in the library, in the university or any institution. Now, Dr. Goswami just mentioned, people are fighting. Our reading halls are open 24 hours. Even then, people are fighting for this place. What they are doing? They are bringing their laptop, and when they are going for tea or something, they are bringing a chain and tying up that particular laptop with the seat, because somebody should not occupy the seat. That is the kind of, and I have seen the ghost universities where reading halls are free, without any person. I personally visited certain places. If you want a library as a happening place, you have to create visibility, and visibility can come through the outreach programs only. It is very important to train your staff. It is very important to educate your student. It is very important to educate your faculty member. They may be expert in biotechnology or in other areas, but they may not be expert in how to utilize the best resources. Still, I receive queries that this journal, please subscribe this journal. I know this journal is already available in my university. It is lack of awareness about the resources. So you are the best people to educate your faculty and researchers. I think I will end with this by thanking, because these all ideas are not my own. I have collected from internet, and with the paucity of time, I have not acknowledged in the particular slide. So I want to thank all the authors from where I have borrowed these slides and presentations. So with these words, thank you very much. I would be happy to answer if there is any question.
Now, since this is a very important topic, so I request you, if you have any questions, 1 or 2 questions we can take, and then you can go to the other papers. So anybody who want to ask any question to Dr. Ramesh Gaur? Okay, then I just want to ask Dr. Gaur that all sorts of electronic tools that he has mentioned, to be very frank, admittedly, I'm not very well versed with these tools because I have not used them extensively. So what is the impact? I mean, even the Informetrics says, now when I was working in Delhi University, the college teachers used to complain, the economics teachers and the social science, how can I come to Ratan Tata Library to study? It is 20 kilometers away. Now that problem has been solved. Now everything is available on the desktop. All the scholarly journals are available, thanks to Informetrics and thanks to other consortium who are making this available. Whether this has resulted in an increased output by the researchers, whether any study has been done, if Dr. Gaur knows, I would like to know in a few words, whether the wide availability of full-text scholarly journals has impacted the research output of the Indian universities. Is there any data available?
I'm not carrying that slide. Actually, in one of the presentation, there was some Springer Roadshow in which I presented that how e-resources can enhance the research output of. There is a certain kind of, even Informetrics has come out with a particular article. I don't remember, Dr. Arora has contributed article. Definitely there is a correlation between e-resources and even if you see the research output of India, in 2001, we were at 16 position. In 2009, we were at 13 position. And now in 2015, we are among top 10 countries in producing the research output. Similarly, if you see the top 25 universities in India, if you compare their research output and see the usage download, there is a lot of correlation in between that. And they are downloading, their researchers are downloading more articles, and their research output is all like you talk about Anna University or even AMU, BHU, JNU, DU. All these universities, if you see their usage statistics, there is definitely a correlation, because when people are using resources, definitely there is a. But at national level, I think institute can do their, even in JNU, like if you see from January 2014 to December 2014, when we implemented this AppSco Discovery Services as a single search window, the usage static was increased 2067%. Now you can imagine that how the technology can make impact of that. And these things are very easy. You see, basically we need not to learn more about these technology. I gave you 2-3 days before there was an example. We were busy in not 3 days when we were doing ETT conference. Some professor called me that we are going to publish our conference proceeding, and publisher is saying that this index you need to prepare, proceeding will be published tomorrow. And he called me somewhere 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he wants that index should be developed by midnight today, and that the proceeding can be published because conference was day after tomorrow. And I can tell you that there was only 2 staff involved in that, library staff. They worked, I think both are present here. One was Harish Kumar Sharma, another was Dr. Praveen Babbar. And by midnight, both of them worked, and an index was prepared, and the next day conference proceeding was published, which no researcher can do it. Only librarians can do this. So basically, now so many technologies are available. Now it is easy to convert in this. So only thing is that technology is not so difficult. If we start learning, even without having any computer background, you can learn those tools. Only thing, willingness should be there, or interest should be there. Thank you.
Now, I think there is a flood of questions. Yes, Dr. Suresh Jindal, my friend, please.
I would like to substantiate your query. As Dr. God has already said, there is an exponential increase in research output in your terminology, exponential. And we can look at Scopus, we can look at Web of Science, and we can take out data from last 10 years, 15 years. Then we will see a graph which is showing exponential increase. Faculty is now saying that you don't look at we people to see in the library, because you have provided the things 24/7 at our desktop. And you said Informetrics and all, but the command like Dr. God is putting at JNU, we did at University of Delhi, that the librarians' initiatives to incorporate many of the resources which were having limitation at Informetrics and all, they were incorporated and make the best use of the resources provided to the faculty.
Any other, do you want to ask a question? Please brief, because we have to give chance to other speakers also. Okay.
Want to request all the librarians to encourage the researchers to acquire Thomson Reuters Researcher ID, which is number 2. There is thing called ORCID. I don't know how many you heard about it. ORCID, Open Researcher and Contributor ID. And it's also 16-digit vertical ID. And such will put all his papers and everything. It's just like a textbook kind of. I request all of you to encourage researcher and first to acquire both these things.
Okay.
Researcher ID and market ID. That will enhance article visibility of our scholar.
We are using at GNU both. We have
Yes,
just
please.
conducted a workshop on ORCID. The person from Asia Pacific director, she conducted a workshop on ORCID.
Really was there.
Yes, please, be brief, if you don't mind. 1 second, just.
I have a small query regarding this using plagiarism software. We have the problem with the percentage of commonality. So where we can say that this is totally plagiarized and where it is, we are facing a problem because in our university, in our department as a school, for sending the synopsis also, we have made it mandatory that it has to go through it. The problem is that some students come with a 30%, some students
Yeah, I
come
understand
with
it.
70%.
And this
but,
is this is not your question. This is the question I have been asked everywhere. Please let me clear. There is no limit, no percentage fixed for any kind of plagiarism because no plagiarism detection tool will give you okay, these are the plagiarism. 0% is the limit. 5% can be plagiarism. 20% may not be plagiarism. Similarities depend upon the kind of usage and kind of information provided in the. There are certain international convention. So that's why I'm saying that your researcher need to be educated about international convention that how to avoid the plagiarism. If any university is fixing a limit, that is totally wrong because no limit can be fixed.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Please.
thank you, Dr. Gaur, for the wonderful presentation. It is really an eye-opener for the university librarians. I have a question. You have mentioned about the altmetrics, but unfortunately, none of the Indian funding agencies are considering even the H-index generated by Scholar Google. They prefer only Scopus or Web of Science. What we have to do?
I think this we need to work together with our research departments. Like in university, there is IQSU. I'm also trying to follow it up. Like when we are talking about Indian national ranking system of universities, we should ensure that these alternative matrices are very important. And we should not just go by only Scopus and Web of Science because there is a very poor coverage of Indian literature and Scopus and Web of Science. So I think we need to work on that. We need to collaborate with our research departments or authorities to ensure that they should recognize it. They should recognize it. First, we have to start using it. I think most of us are not using it. First, we have to start using it. We have to educate the structure. Only then we can work on it.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Dr. Gaur.
Thank you very much.
And now we should go to the, I think we should give a good applause to Dr. Gaur for a nice presentation. And I believe with the input given by my friend Suresh Jindal, the Indian university will find a place in the Times Education Supplement in the ranking of the universities very soon. Anyway, the next paper by Pranali B. Gedam and Amol K. Khobra Gedar. I'm not sure whether I'm not able to spell it properly, pronounce it properly. Information literacy projects in India, a study with special reference to rural India. Please. The speakers are available, present in this hall. They are not here. Hiding here. Huh? The next paper is by Ravish Bharma, Sudhir Kumar and Chetna. Information literacy competency and faculty in Medical College, Madhya Pradesh. Please.
Good morning to all the dignitaries on the dais and respected professionals. I am Ravi Sharma, Chief Librarian, Index Medical College Hospital Research Center, Indore, and research scholar, Vikram University, Ujjain, under Professor S. Kumar. The paper is written by three co-authors, Professor S. Kumar, Ms. Chetna Boriwal, and I am presenting this paper. I need to apologize for mistakes. The measures of information literacy on 104 faculty of medical colleges in MP, India, analysis, gender distribution, designation, and academic qualification, etc. Paper then measures internet competencies and time spent for measures information search with the help of battery of questions, use of telemedicine, and impact on the information literacy on digital concept. Provides a model syllabus for information literacy at various levels. What is information literacy? As per Paraguay Declaration 2003, defines that information literacy which encompasses knowledge of one's information need and ability to identify, locate, evaluate, organize, and effective use of information. The study is based on online questionnaires in 10 medical colleges of Madhya Pradesh. Respondents are professors, associate professors, and assistant professors. The hypothesis of the study is information and communication technology awareness is lower among faculty members of the medical colleges in Madhya Pradesh. The basic data is 104 faculty members of the 10 medical colleges. The gender distribution is 66% are male and 33% are females. And as per professional, 19.42% are professors. Reason for using information: about 20% rarely or never use information. 35% are regularly use information, while 44% are use information sometimes only. Computer and internet competencies. Battery of 12 questions on 5-point scale. 12 questions are weighted from 0 to 4. Total are 1,233 responses and 4,992. 52% answers are negative, enough to conclude low computer and internet competencies. Information analysis and skills. Table 7 has a battery of 4. Point scale 0 to 4. 1664 with the 16 maximum score. Table 8 shows that 5 questions score 0 to 4, 20 by respondents and 2080 in total. Table 9 shows the use of telemedicine. It is almost absent in this survey. I asked the questions that information literacy competencies will be compatible with Digital India concept. 83% in favor of these questions says yes. Conclusion or findings. College faculty members are use information extensively. Most of them are not able to make use of video conferencing. Use of telemedicine is almost absent in this survey. Success of Digital India campaign information literacy will be necessary. A model syllabus has been prepared for MBBS level, PG level, and faculty level. Detailed course content are also available for each unit of on demand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next paper is by Prabhat Pandey or Minu Pandey, Information Literacy, Changing Role of Academic Librarians and Libraries. The speakers are available. Presenter, Prabhat, please. You are Dr. Prabhat Pandey?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Respected Chair, Dr. P.R. Goswami, Dr. Ramesh Gaur, Dr. Akash Singh, dear friends and colleagues. My paper is on information literacy, changing role of academic librarians and libraries. Information technology. You are well known what is information technology. The revolution in computers and communication transforms the computer synonyms to information technology. Rapid development in information technology brought revolutionary change in information processing, storage, dissemination, distribution, and become a key ingredient in bringing up great change in overall all aspects of the society. Information communication technology. The ease of communication along with the internet has brought a paradigm shift in information usage from the need to know basis, information available when and where you need it. Digital publishing technology and global networking have given rise to the development of wide variety of digital libraries. This is the definition of information and communication technology. 10 years ago, we saw the convergence of human readable wave with increased connectivity. Now we are seeing communicating applications and more pervasive broadband connectivity. The world is flatter because computing and communication is more pervasive of our working and learning lives. We create, share, and use digital content and services. These are the implications of ICT analysis: storage speed, ease of use, large volume of information, interoperability, integration. Web-based services, advantage of web-based services. These are the advantages. You are well aware of this. Technology in library and information centers, information capture, storage, identification, databases. Technologies, digital library softwares like Greenstone, DSpace, Fedora, and so on. Library automation packages, networking. ICT induced paradigm shift analysis, traditional libraries into digital libraries, print on paper to digital information, card catalog to Webometrics, chain to RFID text, print journals to online, open access, electronic journals, ownership to access, in library access to remote and desktop access, and so on. Why librarians need to embrace technology? The information professionals are adopting technologies like computing, networking, internet, digital data, etc., and getting adapted to changing environment because their main focus is the user. Our main focus is the user and the fulfillment information needs of the user. User attitudes. User are of two categories. First one, those who is seeking techno-savvy and those who is not. Challenges and opportunities on information literacy. This is the definition given by Wikipedia. Information literacy is the ability to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. I am not going into detail because earlier speakers explained the information literacy in detail. The purpose of IL is to develop sense-making ability among the stakeholders. Though information literacy has broader perspective and wider application, it embraces related concepts like user education, library instructions, bibliographic instructions, library research. Information literacy standards. These are the information literacy standards. Recognize the need for information, determine the extent of information needed, identify and locate appropriate information source effectively and efficiently. Apply research skills to scholarly, professional, and personal information needs. critically evaluate the quality and usefulness of information in a variety of formats, incorporate selected informations into one's knowledge base, apply technology appropriately and competently. Informational literacy models, I think Dr. Gaur discussed earlier, so not go in detail because time is very traditional library role of librarians. Now we are talking to role of librarians. Traditional librarians used select, search, collect, organize, maintain, and preserve the resources. Now role will be changed. In the digital era, negotiator, a person who should be able to identify the need of users. Navigator, searching the ocean of information regardless the format. Facilitator, information and infrastructure. Educator, being familiar with information in different formats and should be able to train the user whenever required. Entrepreneur, marketing library services. Information filter, able to provide the right information in right time to the right person from different right resources. Resource management, providing information about open access resources, building IR, providing seamless integration to different databases, electronic and online resources. Knowledge of IPR. Open access literature is digital, free of charge, and free of copyright. Challenges and opportunities, social behavior and attitudinal change of users, digital divide, providing information literacy, personal counseling, suggestions. These are the some suggestions. Use technology to promote information literacy training, bring technology and learning to the same table when restructuring a being planned in academic library. We consider how technology is organized in other well-developed libraries. Work towards a critical mass of equipment, expertise, and betterment of technology integration. Continuously works towards the goal of attaining quality education and research. Most importantly, the information skill training that is delivered will be built on asking the right question to the users, listening to them, and giving the right answer in time. Conduct workshops, seminars, and conferences on new technologies. Continually develop library staff knowledge and skills. To conclude, an incredible fast progress in information and communication technologies are transforming the information handling and seeking habits of both librarians and users. In spite of the initiative taken by Informetrics, NISCARE, NIC, and refresher course provided by university, more such kind of training program are to be conducted both to the librarian and information professional as well as users. Training influences perception, attitude, and opinion about the information conveyed. Course curriculum for LIS should be revised with emphasis on development of the soft skills as core competencies. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have any questions? Because we have some time, 2-3 minutes. Any questions on information literacy? So there is no question. And to conclude this session, this is my personal opinion, I think information literacy is needed for the users of the library as well as for the librarians also, because I find there are many librarians who do not have the control over their own library collection. That is very important. At least you should develop some sort of expertise in the literature or the field in which your institution specializes. For example, I would expect that Dr. P.K. Jain, who is a librarian of Institute of Economic Growth, should have a broad idea about the literature in the field of economics, worldwide literature, not only Indian literature, and should be able to interpret it to the users, and so that they come to him again. Because what happens in the library, once Professor Munish Raja told us in a dinner when he was leaving the university on farewell, the library तो आजकल नंबर हो गया है, कुछ किताब के बारे में पूछते हैं तो नंबर बता देते हैं X:5। तो पहले जमाने में प्रोफेसर बशरुद्दीन हमें तो बताते थे कौन से सब्जेक्ट में कौन सी किताब है, वो दिन चले गए अब। So that should not happen. I think we should have some knowledge about our own library collection, and information literacy we can teach to the students if we know ourselves. That is very important. Our own competency is also needed to teach the students, because if we find that the students are more intelligent than the librarian, then it becomes very awkward situation. It happened with me also once or twice when I was librarian in the Faculty of Management Studies, because they had peculiar type of literature coming up in the field of financial management. I did not know about options and futures, hedge funding, and venture capital. What is their interpretation? What is the literature coming in those fields? But I think we should have a control over our own library collection and should be able to interpret them in the properly. With these few words, I thank you, the organizer. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh Gaur, for a nice presentation, and Mr. Pandey for his paper. And now I leave this forum to the organizers for some announcement, I think.
Thank you, sir. I thank the chair of the session, co-chair and invited speakers, and the paper presenters of the session for the wonderful presentations and deliberations. Before we announce this session close, I request Dr. S. Ganguly to present a memento to Dr. P.R. Goswami as a token of respect. Now I request Dr. N.K. Vadva sir to please present a memento to Dr. Ramesh Gaur sir. I request Dr. Shiva Chidambaram to present a memento to our co-chair, Dr. Akash Singh.
See, I have one thing to say. I forgot to tell Mr. Akash Singh, if you have to say anything, like 1 or 2 minutes. You can go there because I forgot that he is sitting on my left.
No problem, sir. I am just moving around since yesterday. No problem. I just want to say thanks to Dr. Ramesh Gaur sir for giving such a valuable presentation. And each and every time when I notice his presentation, I learn something. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks.
Now we have a valedictory session after this session. So I request all the participants to remain seated here. And before we, sir, just one second, sir. Before we close this session, sir, I request Dr. Goswami to please to present memento to our our speakers, paper presenter, Mr. Ravish Verma. Mr. Prabhat Pandey. We have 2 paper presentations. Thank you so much, sir. So now we are moving towards our valedictory session. So I request you all to please remain seated here for our valedictory session. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
We have to start with the valedictory session. I just want to make an important announcement. See, tomorrow morning at 7:30, the bus will leave for Agra, and it will start from the International Guest House. You have to take your breakfast in the guest house itself, and then you can board the bus. So you have to plan it accordingly. The lunch, the lunch will be at Agra only, and you have to meet the cost of the lunch. Now we'll start with the formal valedictory sessions. May I request Dr. Praveen Baba, Dr. Tariq Ashraf, Professor Manoj Panda, Dr. P.R. Goswami, and Dr. P.K. Jain to kindly come to the dais. And Professor Hildren Kreshma. Gita. Name do. It is our proud and pleasure that we have with us Professor Manoj Panda, the Director of the Institute of Economic Growth, and Dr. P.R. Goswami, the Director of Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, with us. Can I have a round of applause from the audience, please? Thank you. Well, we had a day-long session starting from the first day to till date. It may be an end to a international conference, but a beginning to a new era. In fact, in these 2-3 days, it has given a lot of food for thought, at least for me. Then I started designing a pyramid where educational resources play a pivotal role. On the other hand, the research entrepreneurship has another strategic plan, and another is your industry. And one of them overlaps with the other, and the other gets connected to the other. And this is a very interesting thing. And thank you, Dr. Jain, for organizing this COLLNET conference, because it is need of the hour, the way the conferences was then. Now we'll start with, there is something in a very international proverb, thinking globally, acting locally. Saying that, we had a very interesting, the Iranian TV was here with us. And this Iranian TV took an entire proceeding of the COLLNET conference, and some of the snippets will be screened here for you. Please enjoy. Before the things get lined up, I would request Geeta ji to kindly felicitate Professor Manoj Panda with a bouquet of flowers. May I request Dr. Debal Sikar to felicitate Dr. P.R. Goswami with a bouquet of flowers. May I request Professor Grant Lewison to kindly felicitate Dr. B.K. Jain with a bouquet of flowers. Can I request Dr. Ramesh Gaur to kindly felicitate with a bouquet of flowers to Dr. Tariq Ashraf? May I request Geeta ji to kindly felicitate Dr. Praveen Babar with a bouquet of flowers? Can we have the film, please?
یازدهمین همایش بین‌المللی وب اطلاع و علم سنجی به میزبانی مؤسسه رشد اقتصاد دهلی در حال برگزاری است. در این همایش سرویس کیفیت علمی و اثر بخشی مقالات علمی در حوزه‌های مختلف بررسی می‌شود.
We have about more than 300 delegates from all over the world.
300 نفر از 26 کشور جهان در این همایش حضور دارند. ما 200 مقاله با موضوعات مختلف دریافت کردیم که از این تعداد 140 مقاله چاپ شده و 100 مقاله هم به صورت شفاهی ارائه می شود.
پژوهشگران و استادان کشورمان هم 10 مقاله به دبیرخانه همایش ارائه کردند که 7 مقاله آن به صورت شفاهی و پوستر در این کنفرانس ارائه می شود.
مقاله‌ای رو که ما ارائه کردیم در کنفرانس کلنت 2015 در مورد تحلیل استنادی اعضای هیئت علمی دانشگاه تهران در پایگاه استنادی جهان اسلام بود. پایگاه استنادی جهان اسلام پایگاهی هست که وضعیت مقالات کشورهای جهان اسلام مثل ایران، کویت، ترکیه، پاکستان و خیلی کشورهای دیگر رو ارزیابی میکنه.
کنفرانس کولنت از سال 2001 در آلمان آغاز به کار کرده و هر سال در یک کشور با هدف بررسی و ارزیابی مقالات علمی و تبادل تجربیات بین پژوهشگران برگزار می شود.
مقاله‌ای که ما ارائه کردیم مرتبط با حوزه وب سنجی، در واقع ارزیابی وبلاگ‌های کتابخانه عمومی در استان تهران، با توجه به اینکه کارکردی که وبلاگ‌ها به عنوان شبکه‌های اجتماعی در عصر حاضر دارن برای ارائه خدمت به کاربرها و بازاریابی خدماتشون، ما بررسی کردیم که چقدر ما توانستیم در عرصه عملیاتی از این وبلاگ‌ها استفاده بکنیم.
در حال حاضر 25 کشور جهان از جمله ایران عضو کنفرانس کولنت هستند. کنفرانسی که آسیب شناسی فضاهای گسترده اطلاع رسانی و علمی را هم در دستور کار دارد. اطلاعات زیاد، بی‌کیفیت و نامعتبر در فضای مجازی به عنوان آلودگی اطلاعات در این کنفرانس بررسی شد. آلودگی اطلاعاتی که می‌تواند کاربران را با مشکل مواجه کند. مقداد نجف شعار، خبرگزاری صدا و سیما، دهلی نو.
Well, it's very interesting that the COLLNET conference is not only globally rich now, but as we say in Sanskrit, that it can have both Akar and Nirakar. So you have just seen an exposition of Nirakar. Now you will see an Akar. A journal of COLLNET, a very prestigious journal, COLLNET Journal of Scientometrics and Information Management, is going to be released here in this August gathering. May I have request Dr. P.R. Goswami, Professor Manoj Panda, and the other audience to kindly release the COLLNET journal. This is published by Taru Publications. It's a COLLNET Journal of Scientometrics and Information Management. Thank you. May I request Dr. Praveen Babbar, the Deputy Librarian of Jawaharlal Nehru University, to kindly welcome the audience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dear Dr. P.R. Goswami, Dr. Manoj Panda, Dr. Debelkar, Dr. P.K. Jain, Dr. Tariq Ji, Professor Hilvin, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all of you to this valedictory session and hope the last 3 days in COLLNET 2015 have been very intellectual, best of intellectual journey. Looking back at last 3 days, including today, it is impossible to summarize the rich ideas that were shared. What I will be sharing with you are some of the key ideas emerging out of this conference. So with the rise of the collaboration in science and technology experienced now worldwide at national and international level, we have felt that there is now an urgent need perceptible to study such processes with a view of acquiring fundamental knowledge for organizing future research and its application to science and technology policies. I also feel that it is very sensible to think in terms of research qualities rather than striving on for single definition or measure of quality. Further, it is very clear now that a fundamental level and responsible metrics pave the way for more flexible, tolerant, and responsive research evolution systems, one that reflects the dynamic nature of scientific development. I feel that this COLLNET can definitely give direction to the rising metric tide and enable more reliable research evolution to be seen in future. I hope we will continue with the journey of COLLNET to create a global interdisciplinary research network. We are very fortunate that we got the collaboration in the real sense of this COLLNET from countries all over the world who have joined hands together on both theoretical and applied aspects of Webometrics, Scientometrics, and Webometrics today. I hope that COLLNET will continue this with its journey, and this research network will prove to be a phenomenon of collaboration in science with productivity, innovation, quality, and its benefit and outcomes acquiring to individual institutions and nations of collaborative work and co-authorship of in matrix sciences. I hope you must have found the unique features of this COLLNET 2015 with Dr. Jain arranging for Mehndewala and astrologer for last 2 days. I also hope that you must have been enjoying with the mouth-watering and succulent lunch with the famous dahi ballas and tikkis from the famous chaat corner of Delhi. So thank you once again. We hope that we will collaborate and meet in 2016 in France to move ahead with intellectual collaboration. I hope that the collaboration, COLLNET 2000 opened the bigger picture for all of us and had learned and had brainstorming on various issues, embarking with presentations, syndicates, speeches, etc. Thank you to one and all. It is up to us to act. All the ideas we discussed are achievable. The time to start is now, while our high blood is still boiling with the e-poison. So let's not wait and cool down. With this note, I welcome you all and thank you once again, all the delegates who have deliberated and provided precedent thoughts and discussed their ideas in these days. Thank you so much and welcome to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen Baba. Professor Manoj Panda holds a PhD in economics from the Indian Statistical Institute. He is currently the director of the Institute of Economic Growth, Delhi. He has earlier served as the director of the Center for Economic and Social Studies, Hyderabad, as professor and associate professor at Indira Gandhi Institute of Development Research, Mumbai, and as an economist and senior economist at the NCAER. His research areas span monitoring analysis of macroeconomic trends and prospects, evaluation of alternative trade and fiscal policy options from the point of view of growth and distribution, development and application of computable general equilibrium models, construction of social accounting matrices, measurement and policies in poverty and human development. May I request Professor Manoj Panda to kindly deliver a special address. Professor Manoj Panda.
Yeah, thank you for that kind introduction. Dr. Goswami, Professor Krismer, Dr. Asraf, Dr. Jain, other distinguished participants. It has indeed been a pleasure to organize this conference in collaboration with the Asian chapter of the Society for Library Professionals. I am grateful to the invited speakers and paper presenters who came over and contributed to make this conference a successful one. I would particularly like to thank Dr. Jain, Dr. Kaur, and others for helping us to organize this conference at this institute. But there are several visible and invisible hands which worked to make this one a successful one, and I thank them all. As you have already heard, more than 300 delegates, including 40 from abroad, participated in the conference. They took part over 24 sessions. But I would also like to put on record that the participants were not confined to the four walls of this room. IEG webcasted the conference live on social media, YouTube. During the first 2 days, more than 700 viewers have witnessed the conference live from various countries, including USA, Germany, Spain, Iran, and other places. Those who have missed some important sessions, they can view it through YouTube in future too. I would take this opportunity to thank the computer unit and its head, Mr. Tyagi, for this effort in this direction. We started the webcasting sometime last year, and I'm happy that they have been able to continue it. Not being from the discipline of information and library science, I don't have much to say on the subject. I would like to state only 1 or 2 thoughts from the little bit of familiarity that I could acquire during discussions with some of you. The first thing that strikes to an outside observer is the fact that the field Informetrics, Biometrics, Bibliometrics, and Scientometrics have grown dramatically in recent decades. The quantitative and statistical analysis in various fields, they cover a wide area of work, and in as rigorous a manner as other disciplines of knowledge. Often as researchers, we investigate several issues in natural and social spheres. But the question arises, who will examine what the researchers and writers are doing or not doing? And it is here that professionals in information and library science, they need to bear a large part of this burden, because library, whether in physical or virtual form, is the depository of knowledge. It has to be done as rigorously as any other science demands. The papers presented in some of the sessions, they analyzed research papers in this area in various dimensions. They developed profiles by countries, by institutions, by demographic features such as the age of researchers, by disciplines and themes within the disciplines. For example, one paper noted the peak age of professionals for technological invention is 31 to 35 years. And the age of several Nobel Prize winners when they witnessed major breakthroughs happens to be 24 to 47. These are interesting findings which can help in policy designs of research institutions and research as such. Several papers in the conference, they undertook citation analysis, discussed new dimensions and methods to strengthen impact analysis further. These kind of endeavors will no doubt contribute in assessing research institutions and their output and help policymakers when they undertake reviews for policy support to research. I think another area where several papers were presented relate to collaborative research. The profile developed in this area are certainly instructive and helpful in strengthening ties between research institutions across countries and improve quality of the work. Noting the fast changing scenario in information technology, Professor Beltman drew attention this morning to several issues in digital libraries and research engines and search engines. I would like to draw your attention to the need for capacity building among information and library professionals among developing and emerging economies. I'm happy to note that there will be a tutorial sessions during the conference to be held in France in 2016. But I would also like to state that the funding agencies, they need to help Indian institutions to undertake training programs on a regular basis so that we are able to develop our own capacity. Capacity building is crucial in any development of science, and it has to be on a large scale. Along with that, the facilities that is required also needs to be developed. Physical facilities, and possibly, India also needs to think at this stage on some nodal agency which will be the depository of data that has gone through some kind of quality check. Because without that, if the data has not gone through quality check, most of the research might invite criticism in future. I think with this, I do hope that you had a nice time. The weather was good. And I'm also happy that a bit of exposition to the Indian culture took place, including Mehendi, horoscope, and so on. So I hope things went beyond the academic rigors to lighter aspects of life. And I do hope that those who are going to visit the city this afternoon, it is a historical city, and also to the Taj Mahal tomorrow, I do hope that they will enjoy and remember the visit. Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Panda. It was quite inevitable because there is a change is taking place very drastically from a digital economy to knowledge economy. Since you are an economist, now Thomas Davenport talked about big data economy. Thank you very much, sir, for highlighting that. We have with us Dr. Goswami, who doesn't need any introduction because we all of us know in the profession him very well. But currently he is heading as a director of the Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts. Previously, he also served as the director of Central Secretariat Library, Ministry of Culture, and served as the director of National Social Science Documentation Center. Earlier, he also served as a planning commission as chief librarian cum documentation officer and as librarian faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi. May I request Professor Dr. Goswami to kindly deliver the valedictory address. Dr. Goswami, please.
Thank you, my friend, Dr. Ganguly. It is indeed a great honor for me to be present at the Institute of Economic Growth, which is a great institution set up by a great man like Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao. He was a great economist. He was the pioneer in devising the national account system for India. If I'm not mistaken, I think Professor Panda must be knowing it better than me. And also he was a great institution builder. And he is the person who brought many eminent persons to the University of Delhi, including Dr. Ranganathan, if I'm not mistaken, as librarian of Delhi University or head of the Department of Library Science, whatever you say. And I am very pleased to deliver a valedictory address. It is a formal address, I believe. And I should tell that I don't have any very structured sort of speech because the notice I was given only one day. Because yesterday, Dr. Jayan told me, you are in the valedictory session. He did not mention that I have to deliver the valedictory address. Anyway, I will try to do some justice with my limited knowledge of this high profile and very important subject like Webometrics or Scientometrics. There are many eminent scholars here, including Dr. Ravichandra Rao, Dr. Sangam, and of course, the scholars from abroad who knows it much better than me. But I will start with a presentation. I mean, my views on the subject. This is called literature. I mean, the use of measurement technique to evaluate literature, periodical literature. And the pioneer in the field is Mr. Eugene Garfield and the Social Science Citation Index. And recently I have come across a very important paper. I think I read it some 4 years back. Again, I was reading it last month because I had to prepare some write-up on social science literature, in which the limitation of social science citation index has been cited repeatedly by the author of the paper, Diana Hicks. It was published in USA. This paper was published. It is called For Literature in Social Science. And she has very rightly brought out some of the weakness and the strength of social science citation index. She says that social science citation index, the number one, the weakness is it is oriented to USA and UK primarily. The literature coverage of literature is only UK and USA, mainly English language literature, number two. Number three, she has used a very important nomenclature, that is national literature. She says the social science literature is nationally oriented. That means she wants to say that, and I think most of us will agree with that, the social science literature is the literature which is produced within the country is more important in case of social science literature because the research is nationally oriented in the field of social science. And the user of social science literature also within the country. Much of the literature used is within the country. And that we felt when we worked in the University of Delhi, and the journals which we subscribed from abroad, except for some of the journals like World Development, which is very expensive. And of course, American Economic Review, which is #1 journal. And I have recently read that there are 3 journals in the field of economics, which has published most of the papers by the Nobel laureates. This is one of the journals, the American Economic Review. And there are 2 more. I think the second is Journal of Economic Literature, and the third one I don't remember the title. There's also a very important journal in the field of economics. Therefore, if you evaluate a social scientist contribution based on the citation he has got in social science citation index, I think you are somehow mistaken, because social scientists quote from a variety of literature. They quote books. In one of the articles, it has been mentioned that in the field of physics, the number of references is 9% from books, whereas from journals, from journals, it is more than 70%, whereas in sociology, the reference is from books is 42%. And from journals is much less, maybe 25 to 26%. I don't have the data with me, so I'm not able to present it properly. But this is one of the inferences drawn by Mrs. Diana Hicks. Another factor which I would like to present here is, see, Scientometrics, or you can say the bibliometrics, is a very important subject for the research, for the library science researchers. There is no doubt about it. But the more important fact is how you present your results. And that results should be presented in a form that can be easily understood by the person who is reading the article. So you should try to present the facts or the figures or the tables or the constructor tables with all sorts of notes at the below, which we call the reliability statement in case of the statistical tables, should be given so that the reader can understand it. I still remember when I worked in the Central Statistical Organization. Dr. Panda must be knowing that organization very well. And I was, there was one gentleman, Dr. Narottam Shah, he used to come from Center for Monitoring Economy to collect data from CSO. And the Director General of CSO, Dr. K.C. Seal, he asked him, why you published these statistical serials, compendiums, because we are already publishing them. His answer was very simple. The way the CSO presents the data and the way the Center for Monitoring Economy presents the data, there is a lot of difference. The way the Narottam Shah presented the tables were much more easier to comprehend by the general readers. Whereas in case of CSO, it was difficult. So there was a publication called National Account Statistics Sources and Methods. So I don't think any normal human being who does not have a good grounding in economics can understand that. So one day I received a telephone call when I was very young, 29-year-old, I was librarian in the Central Statistical Organization. That gentleman was a deputy secretary in the ministry, and he asked me what is the difference between SDP and GDP. So the telephone operator did not understand to whom the call is to be referred. So he just referred it to the library. By mistake, I don't know, he should have given it to some economist. And I was, I was very nervous. What should I reply? Because I did not know what is the difference. I just joined CSO. And then if I just told him, you consult National Account Statistics Sources and Method, I think that is not a very good advice because you won't be able to understand. Then I went to an economist, a senior officer, then he made me understand. Then I asked him very politely, can you call me again? Then whatever I could understand from my senior, I just tried to convey him. So this was the reason that I say the Scientometrics is a very important subject, a very good subject. And some of the experts like Professor Mr. Sangam, I think he's present here. He is expert in this field, but I would suggest all the younger librarians to try to do some sort of study using the Scientometrics for the measurement of the literature in their field. These are very important subjects, and one of the very important statistician, Mr. I.N. Sengupta, I think he was a scientist, he was from physics, if I'm not mistaken. Professor Ravichandra Rao must be knowing. He has done very good work in this field in the 80s and 90s. After that, the research in the field of Scientometrics has not taken that momentum in India. Though there are many PhD research in the country, the number of PhD scholars have gone up very high. The rate of production of the PhD in library science is very high now. But the subject they choose, I think there is a lot of criticism is there. So I would suggest that the younger generation, there are many of the young people are sitting here, that to try to choose a topic in this field, which is very important field. And another thing I would try to mention here, that if you measure the literature in the field of social science using social science citation index or Scopus, I think the subjects which can be chosen is economics and psychology because they are more science oriented. the structure of the subject, economics, the modern economics, I believe, because many people used to say that Delhi school economics, they don't teach you economics, they teach only mathematics. There is a criticism. And some people say that this is the only department where economics is taught. Only mathematical economics, I believe. So in the field of psychology and economics, they are more science oriented. I mean, than the effect of citation analysis from the periodical literature will be more effective in these two subjects. Whereas there are many subjects which have by evaluation, I mean development, they have become more science oriented. For example, linguistics. A part of linguistics has become almost like a natural science, the use of the sort of methods they use in their analysis. So there's a very important paper in the International Encyclopedia of Social and Behavioral Science, which has appeared in 2010, the development of the subjects in the field of social science. In that you can understand which subject is earlier more like a humanities, now it has become more towards natural sciences, and which subject has become from social science and migrated to some other field like health economics, like that. There are certain subjects which have developed as from one subject and other subject, they have merged, a new subject has come. The very interesting papers have been written in that Encyclopedia of Social and Behavioral Science. And I would also suggest that for bibliometric analysis, you should try to consult some of the non-library science journals. One of the journals I would suggest is American Journal of Sociology and Economics, which has given I have read one paper, I think it was in 2010, published, in which they have given how the Nobel laureates in economics, starting from 1969, if I'm not mistaken, that was time when the Nobel Prize in Economics was started, till 2010. What are the papers they have published, what subjects, and which journal? It's a very interesting paper. It is also a bibliometric analysis. So I would like to suggest all the library science students and the scholars and the professionals to try to identify the literature from non-library science journals which present this type of analysis. So, and when I knew that CSIR scientists are measured on the basis of the citation analysis from Scopus or Social Science Citation Index. Now there is a new index for the Indian journals also. That is quite justified, but I think in the field of social science, you have to be very cautious, because in the social science, the type of literature is messy, M-E-S-S-Y. That is the word used by Diana Hicks. These are all sorts of, you have to consult the memoirs, you have to consult the correspondence, newspaper articles, books, journals, even the election manifestos of the political parties. That is also a source of information in the field of social science. So this mixed sort of literature, just to evaluate on the basis of how many citations somebody has earned in the English language peer-reviewed periodical will not be justified. So that's why the social scientists are normally not measured on the basis of the citation analysis. So these are the few words I have. Again, I express my sincere thanks to organizer, particularly my friend, Dr. P.K. Jain, who is a very enthusiastic and very good organizer of conferences, international conferences, I would say, for this great honor given to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Goswami. That was a brilliant talk. In fact, if anybody who wants to understand the social sciences and the kind of data which is coming up, the resources which is coming up, there's a new course which is coming up also called Social Science Informetrics. Now, we had a 3 days constant deliberations on different subject areas, touching from a library information science point of view to the hardcore research point of view. So all of them have been summed up, and this commendable work is done by Dr. Tariq Ashraf and his team. So may I request him to kindly present the report of the entire conference.
Thank you, Dr. Ganguly. Honorable Professor Manoj Panda, Professor Hilrun, Dr. P.R. Goswami, Dr. P.K. Jain, my friend Mr. Babbar, distinguished participants, guests, experts, ladies and gentlemen. This is indeed my privilege and honor to present before you this conference report. 11th International Conference on Webometrics, Informetrics, and Scientometrics held during 26 to 28 November 2015 at Institute of Economic Growth, New Delhi, organized by COLLNET in association with Society for Library Professionals, Asian Chapter Special Libraries Association, and United Nations, has come to a fruitful and after well-deliberated discussions and excellently delivered talks, opening new vistas for cooperation and sharing of ideas in the area of Scientometrics, Webometrics, and Informetrics. Founded in year 2000 in Berlin with its virtual center by 3 scientists from China, India, and Germany under the authorship of indomitable Mrs. Hilrun Kreshmer as its coordinator, COLLNET represents a global interdisciplinary research network on the topic collaboration in science and in technology based on Webometrics, Informetrics, and Scientometrics, as well as on qualitative aspects of sciences of science. The well-attended event sourced together nearly 300 participants, experts, and invited speakers ranging from academicians, library professionals, computer scientists, to experts from industry representing most of the important countries in the world. Spread over 3 days, 15 technical sessions, 12 invited talks, 3 plenary sessions, scores of product presentations from industry, poster presentations, and a rich cultural evening. Conference turned out to be a truly international event with participation from 26 countries and was marked by lively talks, passionate presentations, and several arguments and counter-arguments. Stalwarts from across the globe grappled with the issues and offered wide-ranging opinions and views on Scientometrics and its emerging avatars. Opening in style with the welcome address of Professor Manoj Panda, Director, Institute of Economic Growth, Delhi, and a widely and well-known economist. Video message from Professor Eugene Garfield, information scientist, founder of Institute of Scientific Information. Keynote address by Professor Hilrun Kreshmer, Honorary Professor, Han Normal University, China, and founded COLLNET. Inaugural address delivered by Professor Roshan Lal Raina, Vice Chancellor, J.K. Singhania University, Jaipur. Conference will be remembered both for a power-packed inaugural session and its style in coming years. The tone and tenor of the technical sessions was set by plenary sessions conducted by eminent experts from across the globe, like Martin Mayer, Webometrics, Analysis of Sciences and Technology and their interrelationship, Jean-Charles Lemiral, Pascal Foucault, and Ali Touaba, feature selection and graph representation for analysis of science fields, evaluation, and application to the digital library. Hilrun Kreshmer and Theo Kreshmer, the beauty of patterns in nature mirrored in collaboration networks of science. Grant Lewison, new methods to evaluate the quality and impact of biomedical research. Ravindra Rao, K.S. Raghavan, and Ms. Aditi Raikar, productivity and inter-country collaboration in engineering research in India. Jean-Charles Lemaire, Kim H. Weltmer, digital libraries and search engines, a progress report. A highly distinguishing feature of this conference has been sourcing together of a galaxy of speakers known for their lasting contribution to the science of Webometrics. Speakers like Myung Park, discovery of sleeping beauty in Korean scholarly communications, Masaki Nizao and Yuan Sun, how is scientific research reproduced in newspapers, relationship between press release and scientific publication, and Lee Mendley, A.N. Lipkind, I.A. Lipkind, A.I. Traco, and V.A. Marxo, characteristic and impact of co-authorship by Russian grantees on nanotechnology, bibliometric analysis, Ruth and Pagel, the university research rankings, landscape through the eyes of a library professional. Dr. Ashok K. Sinha, ex-professor IIT, empirical modeling of regional growth in India using machine learning, Ulmus, Path to Peak, Frederick Nicholas, Pyro, Christopher Rostad, and Tagvi Eknes, how does highly prolific academic staff influences on the citation impact of their university departments. Labiba Zain, building the librarian's image through internet, a case of Indonesian library, BK San, Garfield's law, concentration, and Bhunarayan social media analysis, enlightening delegates with their thesis on different issues. While experts and speakers laid bare the scholarly, philosophical, and theoretical formulations of Scientometrics during last 3 days, an overwhelming number of delegates added immense value to the proceedings by their paper presentations, having a focused approach on collaboration and communication in science and technology, science policy, quantitative aspects of sciences, and combination and integration of qualitative and quantitative approaches in the study of scientific practices. The large number of papers presented during the conference contributed to the evidence-based and informed knowledge about scientific research and practices, which in turn may further provide input to institutional, regional, national, and international research and innovation policy making, and grappled with the emerging paradigm of scientific research so as to deftly strategize to leverage its advantages for the common benefit of research in science and technology. The range and canvas of the discussion was highly broadened by the presence of so many speakers so as to cover other allied areas like quantitative aspects of sciences, collaboration and communication in science and its technology, science policy, combination, integration of qualitative and quantitative approaches, theoretical, methodological, and applied aspects, collaboration, knowledge management, and industrial partnership, collaborative bridge between academic research and industry, techniques for collaboration studies, informatics, laws, and distribution. It was indeed a fitting tribute to the demands of our time, concerns of a growing research-driven society, to have such a wide-ranging, distinguished, and disparate experts and scholars on a common platform and allow a free flow of arguments and counter-arguments. The serene and sprawling complex of IEG campus provided a stimulating environment and fostered an unleashing of intellectual creativity, debate, and discussion. Participating delegates complimented the organizers for organizing such a successful convention and bringing together so many diverse streams at a single platform and discussing issues both in context and threadbare. Participants of this mega event, which was webcast live, felt immensely benefited with the deliberation, which provided a unique opportunity to interact and share experiences, ideas, research findings, meetings, and networking on Webometrics, Informetrics, and Scientometrics. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tariq. That was a very elaborative report. Now it's a time to felicitate some of the top contributors. May I request Professor Manoj Panda to kindly felicitate with a token of appreciation to Professor Hildram Krishma. May I request Professor Panda to kindly felicitate Dr. R.K. Verma, who was the chairman of the poster presentations, with a token of appreciation. May I request Dr. P.R. Goswami to kindly felicitate the Thomson Reuters, who were the knowledge partners of this conference. Can I have a representative from Thomson Reuters? Somebody from Thomson Reuters? Dr. Debol, can you please take on the behalf of Thomson Reuters? Can I request you? Now we would be felicitating some of the library and information staff of Institute of Economic Growth, those who have played a very important role during these 3 days, not only these 3 days, but behind the screen, they have played a very important role to make this international conference a great success. I'll start with the name, Ms. Sonia. I request Professor Panda to kindly felicitate the library staff and the coordinators. Ms. Sonia, Ms. Mahija Dipu, Mr. Trilok Joshi, Mr. Yogesh Saini, Ms. Jyoti Bansal, Ms. Sangeeta Sharma, Mr. Pradeep Kumar. Now we have the coordinators. We have the coordinators, Ms. Geeta Paliwal, Mr. Deepak Sharma, Mr. Adesh Kumar, Ms. Shweta Dhingra, Ms. Priya Rai, Dr. Akash Singh, and Mr. Suman Singh. Thank you, Professor Panda. Well, the most extravagance of this particular international conference is you had a palatable, not only a palatable dish, but you had the astrology, you had cultural programs, and then you also had the Mehendi ceremony. What less? How many of you have gone through the astrology and found out that who is going to be the lucky draw winner? So we are going to have the lucky draw here right now, and let's see how much astrology fulfills us. So can I request the Dr. Jain, please coordinate on the lucky draw part.
If anybody wants to give their name, they can give now also. Now lucky draw is going on. Please come fast. Yes. Anybody else? Please come fast. Seven. Yes. हाँ जी? नहीं. The gifts are. But winner government Please come. Hilton, please come this side. Yes, sir. Please. हाँ हाँ क्यों नहीं सब लोग डालो ना लो
How was the picture put on the cup? Yes, sir. The picture on the cup?
Yes, sir.
Who did it?
Who print this mug? एक्चुअली मैं सभी को देना चाहता था अपने स्टाफ को भी पिक्चर के साथ कुछ बहुत महंगा नहीं है सर पिक्चर के साथ only 5 rupees yeah that is only 5 rupees yes but मेरे पास पिक्चर नहीं था वो टाइम लेगा
Who does it?
who prepare the mementos all mementos by name or
They can do that.
yeah
Okay, so can we start the lucky draw? Let's see who are the winners. And we want a round of applause from the entire hall.
Please mix up. Mix these. One name. Please choose one. Choose one.
You have to pick up one.
It has to be blindfold.
नीचे से थोड़ा down. Come down.
Mix up.
Mix.
This is not.
It has to be blindfold. It looks like that whose article is going to be selected.
Close your eyes. Then pick up one. Now pick up one.
Pick one. Yeah.
No, pick up.
Pick one.
Without seeing. Don't read the name. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Hildren, just look at Theo and pick up one.
Okay. Give the name. The winner is Professor Dr. B.S. Agrawal.
Yes.
Oh, please. This is a pen of Waterman. Very great pen. Please. Wait 1 minute. Please. Yeah, choose one. The winner is Radha Shukla from Ujjain. Radha Shukla.
You have to give this.
Dr. Goswami, please. Choose one. Dr. Goswami. Yes. Dr. Mahendra Kumar from Sagar. Nobody? Pick the another one. No other person. No other person. Yeah, he is not here. Then choose another one. Yeah. Subhatra Roy, Kolkata. No other person. That's okay.
Next one is this.
ID card, ID card.
Please.
Yeah, no, here.
One
Present
visiting
already.
card. Choose one visiting card at least.
No, no, no. Anything.
Dr. O.N. Chobe from IGNCA. Sir, pick one. Pick one.
Yeah.
Ajay Srivastava. Yeah, more. One more. Okay. Prabhat Pandey. तारिक जी आइए जरा डॉक्टर गुलशन कोटे फ्रॉम महाराष्ट्र नहीं बाहर नहीं नेक्स्ट या संगीता One more, last one. MCN Jayawardena, Sri Lanka. What's wrong? Dr. Surendra Kumar, Indore. And नहीं है Dr. Jahid, Jammu and Kashmir, from Kashmir. Dr. Jahid. And the last one goes to Dr. Please, last one. Dr. S.C. Jindal from the US.
This is the best one.
Thank you very much, the dignitaries. Now I would request Professor Hildren Krishna to kindly summarize the 16th COLLNET meeting with his views and thoughts and all.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. Hello, are you here? Okay. Yeah, I was hardworking now, huh? Okay. I am so surprised about of it. We had very many sessions and so on. And when I compare this with the former COLLNET meetings and conferences, I never, it is very new for me what I have now seen. There are something what was very important for me. Everything was organized very well. Yes. And second, I'm also surprised, so very many participants. And the quality of the most of the papers were also very good, I think. Although I must say I was not able to go to all of the meetings at the same time. Three together at the same time for me not possible. But I think it was not a very good selection only to take one for me. I also would like to have participate in the other two. Next time I will take the others, of course. And this here is a great surprise for me. I never have seen it. We have visited with COLLNET many different countries, but this is very, very new for me. Great. And I think it's very important also to enjoy together everything, not only the hard thinking about logarithm of that and of that, also only to looking also so. This is not very good for science. But all this belongs together, I think. But it is very new for me in this country. Other countries are looking so like this. So, and you don't know, was it right what you have said or not? And also in the former time, also very many things have changed from the last decades to this time today. In the former time, also there was singing. I'm speaking now, I must say, I'm coming from the former German Democratic Republic, and it is a little bit more similar to you. We also were singing, dancing, and so on during the conference. But afterwards, when this was finished, after the reunification, only series. This was all. Yeah, I am definitely positively surprised about the whole and about everybody who was working here on the higher level, you also and so. And a higher level, what I want to say is only they are on the higher desk. Otherwise, you also are the same high level. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Ilran. That was for your critical observations and for your excellent remarks. The man behind the 11th International Conference on Webometrics, Informetrics, and Scientometrics. Who else? Dr. P.K. Jain, the organizing secretary. May I request Dr. P.K. Jain to kindly propose the vote of thanks. Dr. Jain, please.
Thank you, Dr. Gangli. Respected Professor Manoj Panda, Director IEG. Dr. Goswami, who just left, Director Library IGNCA. Dr. Hildren Kishmar, Dr. Tariq Asraf, Dr. Praveen Babbar, Dr. Ganguly, Dr. Kar, distinguished scholars, delegates, my colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. We are close to the end of the validity session, and I feel proud, privileged to propose the vote of thanks at this August gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks for the support and guidance extended by our director, Professor Manoj Panda, for his encouragement and help right from the moment of inspection of the conference. This event would not have been possible without his support and guidance, sir. We would like to thank Professor Hildren Kishmar and Theo Kishmar, who believe in us and provide us this opportunity to hold this mega event of COLLNET 2015. Thank you very much. We would like to thank Professor Martin Mayer, Dr. Grant Levison, Dr. Jean Lemmer, Dr. Ravi Chandra Rao, and many other speakers who came for this conference from overseas and gave us the direction in the field of Scientometrics, Informetrics, and Webometrics.
We sincerely acknowledge the help and guidance given by the members of the organizing committee, National Program Committee, members of the society in planning and conducting this conference. As we have come to the end of this 3-day mega event, I would like to place on record my heartiest thanks to whoever participated in this event and have given further impact to the field of knowledge. The conference report has been placed before by Dr. Tariq Ashraf, and we will be placing the report on the COLLNET website. If you wish, you may please comment and provide your valuable inputs, which will help in further taking the COLLNET to the new height in academia. I would also like to thank all the invited speakers, panelists, and chairpersons of the various sessions for conducting the sessions and in doing so sharing their vast knowledge and expertise with us during last 3 days. We thank all the participants who contributed towards this conference by submitting papers and sharing their experiences. We thank to those contributors who have presented papers and also the participants for their nasty participation. We also thank all the poster presenters. We acknowledge the help, support, and cooperation of my professional friends and reporters who have provided support in conducting this conference. Our special thanks to our associates, SLA Asian Chapter, and United Nations Information Center for India and Bhutan. Our special gratitude to our supporters, ICSSR, Raja Ram Mohan Rai Library Foundation, ICMR, and DRDO. We acknowledge the contributions and support of knowledge partner Thomson Reuters and all sponsors including Emerald, LexisNexis, BG Computers, SSARC, IRO, Sage, Nature Publishing Group, Taru Publications, and all other sponsors including India States, Total Library Solution, Balani Infotex, etc., and exhibitors who have supported the conference. I am once again thankful to Professor Hilton Kishmar and COLLNET board who trusted in us and hope have not disappointed you, madam. The present COLLNET is the result of hard working of more than 2 years' work. I would like to thank Dr. D.C. Carr, Librarian, Ambedkar University, Mr. N.K. Wadhwa from NPL, Dr. Parveen Babbar from JNU, for always standing beside me and giving untiring support, sharing the knowledge and their expertise. As it has been always my sincere thanks goes to Dr. P.R. Goswami for his support and advice. Without SLP members and SLA member support, it was not possible to organize such a big event. Their advice and guidance in planning and successful conduct of this conference have been extremely valuable. We look forward to working with them in future too. Lastly, I would be failing in my duty if I do not acknowledge the help and support and cooperation from Dr. Sushil Kumar Sen, APO, Dr. Vinod Tyagi, Mr. Didi Khanpal, my colleagues in IEG, and especially in IEG Library, Mrs. Mahija Deepu, Mrs. Sonia, Mr. Yogesh Shani, Ms. Sangeeta, Mr. Tilok Joshi, Ms. Jyoti Bansal, and all other library staff and others in library and IEG who worked hard for this conference for the last 2 years. And without their active and energetic support right from the planning stage, it would not possible for me to undertake this assignment. The next COLLNET 2016 will be held in France. I request all of you to plan to participate in COLLNET 2016. I am happy to hand over the next COLLNET to Professor Jean-Charles Lemray to organize COLLNET 2016. Mr. Jean, please. Thank you once again to one and all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I'm happy to take the responsibility of the next COLLNET meeting in France, but it will be a huge task to be better than the organization of Professor Jain. So
I will be there.
Yeah.
I am here to help you in all regards.
Okay. So I will do my best anyway. And also with the help, with the fruitful help of my Indian colleague that I've proposed jointly to help me for that organization. I thank them very much for this. They feel that they have not get enough work this year, so they want more.
Thank you all. Now we beg for the lunch and the final, and don't come back.
Thank you. Thanks to Dr. Ganguly.